Hey dudes, it is Tuesday, excuse me, November the 26th. 2 more days is Thanksgiving. I know a lot of people are maybe off work today. Kids are out of school. So if you're here right now, thank you for spending your Tuesday morning with me. I appreciate you immensely. Let's real quick just go through get the elephant in the room out of the way. While I'm talking, you may notice that my tongue looks a little brown or whatever else. And let me just explain real quick what it is. It's coffee. All right, just so we're all fully aware, it's coffee. I am one of those disgusting individuals who does not like to brush my teeth before I eat breakfast. So now you guys know how we're rolling. Kind of brown, yellow tongue. That's from the coffee this morning. Just ignore it and let's keep trucking. If you looked at the thumbnail, I would like to start this off with talking about Tim Scott. Just because, y'all, I'm going to ask y'all a question. For the men in the audience here, how many of you sit like Tim Scott was sitting and you're straight? Just out of curiosity. I know it doesn't matter. I could care not at all which way Tim Scott swings his ding-a-ling once he's in a bedroom. If it's towards the front or the back, that's all on him and his wife that he married. But there's something just about him that screams Tim Walz to me. Not the sexual assault against young children part, but the fruity part. So that's that. Anyway. The reason I'm bringing up Tim Scott is because he is, in my opinion, and I thought this before when I watched him on stage with Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and whoever else was up there. I can't remember everybody now. I think, was Mike Pence up there? No, I don't remember who else was on the stage then. But Tim Scott has always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I don't trust him. All right. And the fact that he is showing his rhino tendencies is concerning. And Trump's not even in office yet. So this is how this is going to work. He is, let's see, let's go the easy way. Let's read this. Tim Scott, fresh off being elected as NRSC chair, hires former Mike Pence campaign manager and never Trumper Stephen Demura as executive director. If Scott thinks we won't notice this betrayal, he's in for a rude awakening. Demura's role will include deciding which Senate candidates receive funding. Scott had pledged to help fulfill President-elect Trump's promises, yet now he's handed control to a figure who's no friend of the America First agenda. And they're saying that he is not good for the campaign. All right, so you guys are saying this is staticky. Let me unplug and see what happens. If it doesn't work, it's, oh well. Let's see. Hold on. I don't know if this will do anything or not, but it might take a second to pick back up because the lights are flashing. You guys just let me know if it sounds any better. If not, we're just going to keep trucking and hopefully you'll be okay. So this is Tim Scott. For those of you who don't know what Tim Scott looks like, I think everybody knows what Tim Scott looks like. He is out of South Carolina. I want you guys to see this, listen to this. This is old. This isn't new. Okay, this part here. But for those of you who may have missed it, let's take a listen.
Tim Scott.
Hey, brother. Without any question, President Trump set out to make sure that Americans felt like this country and the American dream was alive and well and there for them. From the border to fixing the economy, solving the issue of crime, and restoring confidence on the global stage, President Trump has been very clear on his agenda. Our goal with our leader, John Thune, is to make sure that we achieve those objectives. My passion is making sure that we defend our current seats and expand the map and expand our majority so that President Trump does not have 2 years with a Republican majority in the Senate. He has 4 years in control of making sure that America's agenda comes home to each and every household.
Now, here's the problem with Tim Scott, all right? Somebody just said, oh, but he's black, which is true. A lot of people on the left are complaining that Donald Trump hasn't put anybody black into any positions of power. Well, Tim Scott, right in there, definitely a black man in a position of power. But the problem is that he comes across, again, as a Republican in name only. There's just something about him that the fact that he picked Stephen Demura as his executive director says a lot. For those of you who don't know, he was the campaign manager for Mike Pence's 2024 presidential campaign. Not that that in and of itself should be a negative, right? Because Mike Pence was Donald Trump's vice president in his first administration. So we shouldn't just automatically look at that and say, hey, wait, we don't like that. But it does give you a little bit of a pause. He was a vice president at Targeted Victory, which is a digital advertising firm, and the executive director of the super PAC Carly for America, which supported Carly Fiorina's 2016 presidential bid. This is what Stephen Demora looks like, in case you're not quite sure who he is. But from what I have learned and am hearing and seeing, that people are not a fan of Stephen Demora and the fact that Tim Scott has picked him. So there's that. Y'all are saying it's muffled. I don't know what else to do with it. I could take the microphone off and just yell at the phone. We'll just do that. Hold on. Go. All right. So now we're just gonna yell at the phone, and hopefully you guys can hear better that way. This is, every once in a while the audio gets janky and I'm not quite sure what does it. So hopefully this works. If not, it is what it is. Can't keep going. So Tim Scott actually posted the picture of himself sitting like a fruitcake on his own X account. And it says, great catching up with fellow South Carolinian and soon to be Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. I don't know how you say it. I'm looking forward to working with Scott and President Trump to expand economic opportunity for all Americans while once again holding our adversaries accountable. Tim Scott looks like he's on a date. The way that he is sitting looks like he is on a date with the booty hip thrust out, right? And the I don't know. I feel like when you have Twig and Barry sitting with your legs crossed that tight, it's gotta be uncomfortable. It's gotta be uncomfortable and a little bit awkward. Unless he plays tuck-a-mole. I don't know what he's doing, but either way, it looks uncomfortable to me. So that's my Tim Scott talk. I'm from South Carolina. For those of you who don't know, if you're new here, I am from South Carolina, although I was raised in the ATL, peace up, A-Town down. I am an ATL girl, but I was born in South Carolina. I spent a lot of summers in South Carolina, and even people in South Carolina are not huge fans of Tim Scott. So that should say a lot. Now, another thing I wanted to mention to you, just because I saw Candace Owens post this up about an hour ago, and I thought it was very interesting. It really has nothing to do with anything, I don't think. But Candace Owens said basically that she sent out a legal notice to, I don't know if it's Ben Shapiro or to Rabbi Shmuley, whoever the crap that is. I know the name, I just can't picture the person. She says, you peddled sex toys and used my name and face to sell them, knowing fully well I am a Catholic and deem the sex industry perverse. You crossed a line. So this is her post on X, right? I read that and my very first thought was, I could picture them trying to put Candace Owens in like a nun outfit while holding a vibrator or something crazy. And then the thought of that alone, I was like, no. I feel like, and this is going to be very mean, but I feel like Candace Owens is probably more vanilla in the bedroom than most of us here on YouTube. I feel that, so I don't know if that's nice or not. It's not meant to be mean. It's just the way I feel about it. But according to this Rabbi Shmuley posted, official Ben Shapiro created Candace Owens, made millions off her anti-Semitism, and left the mess for me and my daughter, Rachel Leah, to clean up. We forced Ben to fire her, got her banned and demonetized from YouTube, banned from Australia, and made her finally pay the price for calling IDF Nazis. Now Candace is suing me. I intend to subpoena every last communication between Candace and Ben Shapiro and his company, The Real Daily Wire, and find out every last cent a Jew with a yarmulke made off Candace's blood libel and praise for Hitler lovers, and force Ben to donate every dollar to the widows of the IDF. How dare he hold on to millions in blood money? Get ready for the trial of the century. So that's that. That sounds like it's gonna like a movie, right? Does it not sound like it's some sort of script for a future movie? But this is happening right now. Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Rabbi Shmuley, whatever else is going on here. Definitely keep an eye on it, because we already know that Candace Owens was demonetized on YouTube. YouTube did not like her stance on Israel or against Israel, for Israel, whatever her stance was. They were not a fan of it. And so they demonetized her. They had no problem with her talking about numerous other things. And she comes with receipts, y'all. Like her and her team do a lot of background investigating, a lot of work to bring as much truthful information as they can find. That's how I feel about Candace Owens from what I have seen of her, right? And when she did all the stuff dragging Kamala Harris's lies, you know, letting everybody know that she was full of shit. I mean, her book, Kamala Harris's book that she wrote has so much plagiarism and it's absolutely ridiculous. Candace Owens was able to pull apart her family tree and prove that she is not the black female that she claims to be, and the person that she put in her book as a picture of her grandmother is not her grandmother, all kinds of stuff, right? And I think that's why they're going after Candace Owens, not because of anything else, but because she has no problem pointing out the lies and the bullshit of people in power, and that bothers them, that hurts them, that scares them. It's the same reason they go after Donald Trump. I mean, come on, seriously. The only reason they went after that man is because they know that once he's back in office, all the underhand, dirty, disgusting stuff that they have been able to get away with over the last 4 years will be done. The 4 years that Trump was in office previously, from 2016 to 2020, I can guarantee you there were less illegal immigrants crossing the border. There was less money laundering of money going to other countries. There was less child trafficking. There was less just anything that you can think of that the left pushes or does on a daily basis. Less of that happened under Donald Trump. And as soon as he was out of office and Biden was in, it all picked right back up, right? So I'm going to be keeping an eye on all of that just to kind of see what's happening there, because it is something that is interesting to me. So there's that. Let's see. Lots of stuff today, y'all. There's so many random things that I wanted to talk to you about. What is this one? So Gavin Newsom. Y'all know I'm not a fan of Gavin Newsom, right? I've talked about him before. He is the nephew of Nancy Pelosi. Also not a fan of Nancy Pelosi. The whole family seems to be shisty, right? Well, he has just basically... he is excluding EVs made by Tesla from its EV credit program. Y'all might not know this, but Tesla is manufactured in California. They're manufactured in California. And here you have Gavin Newsom, governor of California, saying that he's not going to give Teslas the EV, I don't know if it's a tax credit or EV, whatever the EV credit program is. He's not going to allow Tesla to be part of it. Does he understand what would happen if Elon Musk decided to say, screw you, Gavin Newsom, I'm now going to take Tesla and move it somewhere else? He already moved SpaceX. He already moved X. He moved himself all to Texas because of the just disgusting woke liberal bullshit mind whatever against children in California, because Elon Musk's son was mind fucked basically into thinking that he was some girl, that there was something wrong with him and he was a girl in a boy's body. And so now Elon's like, you know, my son is dead to me, because technically he has no son anymore, because his son considers himself his daughter at this point. And that is because of the push that California allows for the mental degrading of children. I have to call it that, because you cannot be mentally healthy and think you're in the wrong body at the same time. So I'm going to have to call it a mental degradation, like degrading them mentally to where they think that they are in the wrong body. Now, I want you to hear what Gavin Newsom had to say. If I can get this to play. It's very short, very, very short. Hold on. Okay, volume up and go.
It's one of the reasons guys like Elon Musk and others have become so damn successful. Is because we've set price signals, we've created markets, we've created opportunities for investment. We're the #1 manufacturer in the state for a reason. We continue to be the envy of the world in these policies, and LCFS is a big, big part of that.
But here's the problem with that. He says that basically Elon Musk is who he is because of the opportunities that California has created for him. Pretty sure Elon Musk would still be who he is without California. Like I said, he's in Texas now, and he's still able to do everything that he's doing. Gavin Newsom is just a disgusting human being at the end of the day. He had, I think it was 28, I don't remember if it was 28 million or $28 billion to go towards helping the homeless situation in California. And somehow that money, poof, be gone, and nobody can figure out where it is. Nothing was done to alleviate the homeless situation in California. Gavin Newsom, but then we talked about a couple days ago, he's able to afford a $9 million home on his $244,000 a year salary. Not a mathematician, but that shit don't add up. So Gavin Newsom is intent on destroying the state of California. And I feel bad for people who live there because they have jobs or because they don't have the financial means or ability to leave California. It's so easy to say, well, if you don't like it there, just move. It's not like that for everybody, right? So the fact that he is trying to cause issues for Tesla in and of itself is stupid, especially when he's sitting there pushing this EV agenda, the same one that Donald Trump will come in and do away with, because pushing everybody to go electric everything completely by 2030, I think, is Gavin Newsom's California push. Trying to go all electric by 2030 is impossible. All the money that the Biden administration pushed into Build Back Better or their infrastructure bill and all this other stuff, none of it went towards building new electric grids. How in the flying monkey do you expect to have everybody on electric cars, electric everything, appliances in their homes, electric everything, no gas, no nothing, if you're not building electric grids to keep up with the new electric need or want or mandate or whatever else? It's not going to work. That's like having 2 outlets but 5 plugs that need to go into it. They just keep adding plugs and no new outlets. What are we doing here? You can't expect this to work if you're not doing your part to make it work. Mandating that shit for us is not helpful. All it does is now people are going out and spending money on an electric vehicle they don't need, on a new electric stove because they're not allowed to use their gas one, an electric fireplace because they're not allowed to use their gas one, on electric yard appliances because they're not allowed to use their gas ones. That's all that does. It makes us spend money for something that then how are we going to use it? How are we going to use it when we can't plug it in, when we can't get electricity to it, when they have rolling brownouts, rolling blackouts, when they're doing the what is it called? I can't remember the name, where they raise the price of your electric bill for like 4 or 5 hours out of the day. You know, the 4 or 5 hours you're home and want to use your electricity. I can't remember what it's called. We've talked about it so many times and blank. It's just not feasible and it's not fair. And I know people don't like the word fair, but it's not fair at the end of the day. So when Donald Trump comes in and he does away with this 2030 mandate push, whatever, it's going to make it so much better for so many different manufacturers. You had a ton of car manufacturers who are like, I don't know what to do. I can't keep making peak hours. Thank you. I can't keep making these gas powered cars because they're pushing these EV ones, but I keep making these EV ones and nobody's buying these shits because they're expensive, because they catch fire, because there's nowhere to charge them. So what do we do here, right? That's how a lot of these car manufacturers are feeling. And now with Donald Trump coming back in, it's going to be easier, hopefully, for these manufacturers, whether it's GM, whether it's Stellantis, whether it's Ford, whether it's Tesla even, to make the cars that the people actually want, as opposed to the ones that are being pushed upon people that they don't want and can't afford. So there's that. The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, there's so many things, but let's go with this real quick. We talked yesterday about how Kamala Harris blew through $1 billion and then overspent somehow $20 million and then quit paying her staff. Her staff was supposed to be paid through the end of the year, through the end of, I guess, her vice presidential term, but they were supposed to be paid through the end of the year, right? Because they're still out there trying to wrangle in money for her from donors because she's in debt, I guess. I don't know why else she would possibly need any money from people at this point. But this says, look, this is the DNC. A picture from the DNC in Chicago. They have started a GoFundMe to raise $25,000 to assist staff who were laid off after Harris's 2024 election loss. Those still on the DNC payroll say the cuts are a betrayal of party values. So the people who put everything into helping her in her campaign, thinking that she gave just maybe even an iota of a shit about them, are now realizing that the woman that claimed to be for the unity of America, because that's what they kept saying towards the end, was party above party. No, wait, America above party. I don't remember what the crap they called it. It was stupid. They tried it at the end and it didn't work. Either way, the woman who was running on, being the champion for the middle class and everything else, has just pulled the most dick move possible by just stopping paying the people that did the work for her. I don't know if they understand the irony there, that the woman who said that she was going to create the jobs and make sure the middle class got, better because they were going to be able to make more money and have more jobs and do whatever else, she's the first one to lay them off without any warning and just stop paying them the money that they'd already earned. Yeah, that's absolutely crazy to me. So there's that. On top of that, now this is just a I heard kind of situation. It's on X. Doesn't mean it's true. Okay, let's keep that in mind. But according to Bad Hombre over on X, he says former President Obama is telling top Democrat donors and party leaders that Democrats must move forward from Kamala Harris for their own survival, and that neither he nor they should under any circumstances support her if she runs for political office in the future. That doesn't surprise me, though. It does not surprise me. They pushed so hard this election period to put her in power, and it did not work. If they were to try to back her again in 4 years, if she really is dumb enough to try to run again, they're all going to look even dumber than they do right now. They have said Tim Walz may run. People are now saying Gavin Newsom's going to run. I don't think that's the case. Some people are saying Josh Shapiro may run. I think anybody, we talked about this a couple days ago, there's not a single person I think they could put on that Democrat ballot for 2028 that is going to be worth a crap at all, that anybody's going to vote for. It would have to be. No, I got nothing. I'm trying to think maybe a celebrity could come out and, like, what if Taylor Swift is like, I'll be president? You'd have a bunch of dumbasses who would vote for her because they think she'll just give free concerts from the White House. But I cannot think of a legitimate single person that people like enough to vote for as a Democrat, let alone sway Republicans over to vote for. And I don't see Tulsi Gabbard flipping back over to Democrat in order to run as a Democrat in 2028. I don't see RFK Jr. switching over back to Democrat to run in 2028. Elon Musk can't, so there's that. Tucker Carlson, he's Republican, so we don't have to worry about that. Like, I think they have nothing. I think this may be the reign of Republicans from now on, because we have plenty of people on the Republican side who could run in 2028. You could run J.D. Vance for president and Tulsi Gabbard for VP. You could run Tulsi Gabbard for president and J.D. Vance for VP. Like, if they really want to try to put a woman in, that's the best way to do it, is on the Republican side, because that's the best chance you're ever going to have of having a woman in office as president, is on the Republican side, right? But I think it is interesting, since November 5th, the full-on separation from everybody in Kamala Harris has been crazy. If Barack Obama and Michelle Obama and Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and all these celebrities really, truly, honestly felt that Kamala Harris should have been president, they would still be talking about her. They would still be talking up about her. They would still be trying to find some place for her to go. A lot of people are saying that she's going to end up in Congress somewhere. She may go back to California and end up in a seat there, that she's going to try to be on the Supreme Court, all these different things. And if that was the case, you would think you would still hear the left people that spent time on her campaign trail still pushing for her to be in whatever position is she's trying to be in. I had a sexual joke. We're not going to do it. Y'all know how my brain works. Just fill in the blanks there. Also a sexual joke. Okay, continue. But nobody's talking about her. Nobody's talking to her. She isn't in the spotlight right now. She's hiding wherever she is. I think because she's about to go through a nasty divorce. Personally, I think that's why we have not seen her anywhere. But it's something to keep an eye on and an ear out for, to see if there is anybody actually talking about her. I know that during the campaign trail, the left talked so much crap about Donald Trump coming in and imposing tariffs, right, on China and all these other places. But they forgot to mention, which Donald Trump did point out during his debate with Kamala Harris, he did point out that the tariffs that he set in place from 2016 to 2020, the Biden administration did not undo. Those same tariffs stayed in place from 2020 to 2024. If they were really that bad, they would have undone those tariffs and done something different. But because they worked, they left them in place. Now they wanted to undo everything else Trump had done that was great and redo it and take it as their own plan, like the cap on Medicaid on medicines and things like that, but they didn't want to use the word tariffs in anything they did. So they just didn't touch it, and they didn't talk about it, and they let the Donald Trump tariffs slide through to 2020 to 2024. Now Donald Trump is saying that those tariffs that he had implemented on China, he's going to raise them up to 25%. And not only will they be on China, they'll be on Mexico and they'll be on Canada. Trump threatened to reveal, this is what's great, threatened to reveal the Mexican government's cartel connections unless they do what he wants on the border. He threatened massive tariffs, and he threatened to send in special forces to get the cartels. It looks like Mexico is now planning to be extra helpful on the border, and the Sinaloa cartel is killing fentanyl makers just to stay off of Trump's bad side. Was that so hard? And this is from the Gateway Pundit, but whatever. It says Mexican president folding after just one phone call with Trump. And that's the Mexican president, the female there, right? You already have people talking about how Justin Trudeau in Canada is trying to have conversations with Trump about these tariffs as well. There are pros and cons to tariffs, obviously. I don't know 1,000% like all the knowledge of tariffs, but I can think about it from a layman standpoint from over here, right? Thinking about it from just a regular ass person who goes out and buys things. If the things that I want that come from Mexico and Canada are going to cost 25% more because of tariffs, either I really want them and will buy them, or I'll look for other alternatives that are made here in the US that won't have that same price tag, and I'll start buying made in the US again. What it also could mean is that Mexico and Canada will now, instead of trying to sell things to the US for more, will end up selling for less so that their tariffs aren't so high or whatever else. I'm trying to figure out how to do the math in my head, and then we'll get lower costs on things. I don't see that really happening. Either way, I think that the threat of the tariffs is going to do well for our economy. We've had the tariffs already. I mean, they've been in place for years and years and years. Donald Trump was not the first one to place tariffs on other countries. It's been going on everywhere. Other countries have tariffs on our stuff too. It's nothing new. The left just pushed it as a scare tactic for the people who didn't understand that this is nothing new. It's been going on from day one of trade, right? Import, export. There's always been some sort of tax on import and export. Nobody just here, let's make an even trade. No, people want profit. People want to spend money. People want to have a reason to hold something over somebody else's head. So there's always going to be tariffs, right? Anyway, besides that, let me take the little bookmark off of there. Y'all, so much going on. Where's the next one? So Benny Johnson, the reason I have this Benny Johnson one is because I had the CNN one. Where's the CNN one? Here it is. Okay. So CNN's Carrie Champion warns that free speech won't be as free under Trump. What? Are you kidding me? Free speech won't be as free under Trump? Let me just real quickly find this. These are, I'm going to read these headlines to you. These are from left-leaning publications. Elections are bad for democracy. That's number one. The First Amendment is out of control. That's another one. The Constitution is sacred. Is it also dangerous? One of the biggest threats to America's politics might be the country's founding document. You want to tell me that Donald Trump, the Republican, is going to be the one who is going to be bad for free speech, for our constitutional rights? I'm pretty sure the left has been pushing to get rid of our free speech for the absolute longest. The only time they want free speech is when that free speech goes for the bullshit that they are pushing, the transgender agenda, the LGBTQ in general agenda, the open borders agenda. That's the only time they want you to have free speech, is when you're speaking positively towards the things that they want. The second you talk back or you have an opposing opinion, they come out with, oh, well, we shouldn't be allowed to talk about those things, and, you know, you should be censored, and X should be censored, and everything else. Tim Walz even talked about censoring people because they didn't agree with him. That is not free speech. That is not being part of the American way and by going off the Constitution, right? So I want you to listen to this from CNN. If I can get back to it. Where'd you go? This woman is just dumb as dirt. I don't understand how these people get... Stop moving. How these people get a seat on these shows. It blows my mind. I think that in order to get on CNN or MSNBC as a Democrat, all you have to do is prove that you are dumber than a first grader. Anyway, let's listen to this.
X, and you said in some ways, always. I feel like X, I don't know if anyone is on it in any capacity. I don't know if you're on it. And you're the only one? You're on it? You all are on it? Okay. I've actually decided to take a rest of peace because it is not a peaceful place for me. And I know if, in fact, you don't agree with this current administration, most people can say that it's not a peaceful place. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an actual bid made to take on MSNBC, but the fact that it just can't happen in real life.
I mean,
just can't.
It's officially not for sale.
Yeah, it's not officially for sale.
The last time he mused about maybe buying something,
it's not even realistic in real life. But I do believe that media, everyone sitting here at this table, if you don't agree, we are in for some tough. We're in for some tough years ahead. I do believe that we are not going to be able to be as safe or say what we want to. I don't think free speech is going to be as free.
Now, Scott, I want to bring you in here because
I love how Scott Jennings is like, the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? Free speech is not going to be as free. And he said, and the fact that they panned to him while he looked at the camera, like, what did this dumbass just say? Absolutely love it. So listen, what's crazy to me, let me just play this for you because Benny Johnson had the perfect response to that woman saying that now that Trump has won, that X is not going to be a safe space for people like her. I don't know if she meant stupid people, black people, women people, stupid black women people. I don't know what she's talking about, but in general, it's a safe space for you unless you are stupid and get triggered by everything. I look at stuff from the left all day long. I love to see what dumb stuff they're putting up. Guess what? I still feel safe. Like, I'm not worried about it. They're not going to jump through the screen and hit me. None of that's going to happen. So if she doesn't feel safe, maybe she needs to be in a padded room somewhere, because if the internet makes you feel unsafe, you might have a little bit of a problem. But I want you to listen to this here real quickly.
So one of the big reasons he bought Twitter/X is because he wanted to make it his own platform, remake it in his own image. And I think this really gets at it. Look at this. The party ID among those who regularly use X/Twitter for news. Back in 2022, 65% of those who regularly use Twitter/X for news were Democrats. Just 31% were Republicans. Look at where we are today. Just a completely different picture. Now it's basically split between Democrats at 48%, Republicans at 47%. And what I should note, Mr. Berman, is this new overall makeup matches the overall electorate far better. And more than that, John, look at where Mr. Musk's net worth is today versus where it was just 2 months ago. He is the richest man in the world by far. 2 months ago, look at this. His net worth was $252 billion. Look at where we are today, $314 billion. He is by far the...
Okay, none of the rest of that matters. What matters is the fact that when Elon Musk bought Twitter in 2022, it was if we're going to go based off that chick on CNN, it was a safe space for liberals and Democrats. It was 65% liberals and Democrats, right? Meaning fake news and all other kinds of bullshit running rampant on there, right? Then Elon Musk comes in and buys it, and now it's almost 50-50. For every Republican, you have a libtard. Like, that's how it works, as opposed to it being a libtard overload, and Republicans over there like, feels a little stupid in here. I'm going to hang out and see what's going on, but it feels like I'm surrounded by stupid. Now it's 50-50, and they have a problem with that. They only liked it when they were the majority, but the second it becomes an equal opportunity platform, they have a problem, which tells you everything you need to know about Democrats. The second they don't have a foot up or a hand up or whatever else, they start bitching and moaning and whining and crying, and obviously everything's against them, and oh, woe is me. Ma'am, go take a seat somewhere else. Like, just go away. I wish they'd put me on these shows. They can't put me on these shows, though, because I cannot be controlled. I will always speak my mind because I talk before I think, and sometimes even I say stuff and I go, ooh, probably shouldn't have said that out loud, but it's already out there, so it is what it is. But it would be fun to be on one of those shows and just respond to one of those women. I'm telling you, they should put me on The View one day. Whoopi and I'll go 10 rounds with Whoopi Goldberg easily and then watch her cry as she flounces off the stage. So besides that woman being stupid, Carrie Champion being stupid, you also have the full report that CNN did on Scott Pressler. You guys may know who Scott Pressler is. You may not. He looks like, and I'm just quoting what I've read, gay Jesus, because he's got really long brown hair and he's clearly gay and super effeminate, right? I think that's the right word. But he was he's in Pennsylvania, and he is a Trump supporter, like a diehard Trump supporter. He was on Benny Johnson's show numerous times, whatever else, right? And for some reason, CNN decided to do a whole entire full segment piece on Scott Pressler, but it did not go as planned. It backfired 100%. I want you to hear, how long is this thing? Oh, this is 6 minutes. We're not doing all that. We're not doing all that. Let's just do a little excerpt here just to see what it sounds like in the beginning. I can put a link to this later if you guys want to hear it.
Tonight, quote, the Amish delivered. Those are the words of a man few people know, but a man who was key to Donald Trump's win in Pennsylvania. The controversial conservative activist, Scott Pressler, who's involved in the group Gays for Trump, a vocal election denier, goes by the Twitter handle, The Persistence. He helped deliver that all-important must-win state for Trump, in large part by focusing on, as he says, the Amish, frat guys, and hunters, among other groups. And Pressler.
Look, that's enough. They were doing this whole piece that was supposed to make Scott Pressler sound bad and like he had done something wrong. And I'm like, man, that intro was glowing. I love it. Thank you. And then they try to then make him seem like he can't be trusted or like he has a different agenda. No, he was great. So there's that. I'm gonna put a link to this one in the pinned comment at the end of this live stream because it's worth watching, even though it is CNN. It's worth watching because Scott Pressler, he's a cool dude. And the fact that he worked so hard to get Pennsylvania to flip red was huge. And when Pennsylvania, y'all, I told you I was watching the live stream on Benny Johnson's show or Benny Johnson's YouTube when on election night, he was on there for like 7, 8, 13, 74 hours. I don't know. He was on there forever and a day. I would have had to pee way too many times. That would not have worked. Catheters, not an option because that's just weird while you're live on TV, right? So we watched Benny Johnson, and the second Pennsylvania flipped, he lost his ever-loving mind. I'm in my living room losing my ever-loving mind at the same time. It felt like a nationwide party, right? I thought it was absolutely great. So Scott Pressler had a lot to do with that in Pennsylvania. He was all over Pennsylvania trying to get people to see the truth about Trump as opposed to the lies that were being spewed by the left, Josh Shapiro being part of that, right? And obviously it worked because you had a swing state that everybody thought was going to go to Kamala Harris. It went to Donald Trump easily, even with them trying to then come back in, what was it, Bucks County, trying to come back and recount or count ballots that showed up late, didn't have a date on them, probably weren't even signed, all these things. They've tried everything, didn't work. Pennsylvania is for Trump. And that, I think, has a lot to do with the people in Pennsylvania who worked their asses off to make it that way. And Scott Pressler is one of those people. So I personally am grateful for the work that he put in helping people open their eyes and their mind to who Donald Trump is. The mainstream media, even when they're trying to drag somebody and dog them, they don't have the ability to do so because there's nothing bad you can say about him. Oh, he's gay. Well, you can't use that as a negative against him, left, because your whole thing is about how everybody should be gay. So there went that one for you, right? Having somebody who believes in the candidate they are supporting, also not a negative. So what could you possibly say? Anyway, that's that on that. What time is it? 9:45? Okay. I have brunch with my mommy in about 15 minutes. So let's see. Oh, this is the other one I wanted. Ooh. Remember, we talked about, what's his face? I don't know if it's Johnson or Johnston because it keeps getting mixed around on every single thing I look at. The mayor in Denver, Colorado. He's stupid is what he is. Mike Stupid is what we'll call him. He has said that he is going to go against the federal government and use his police force, use his own personal military against the government. That sounds like an insurrection. So he's saying he's not going to let the federal government come in and deport any of the illegal immigrants in Denver because, of course, he wants the money that he gets from the federal government to house said illegal immigrants. But he's obviously stupid because Donald Trump is not going to give you money to house illegal immigrants. He wants them out, right? Anyway, Tom Homan, I love him. In a platonic way, just so we're all fully aware. I'm fully married. I love him because when he did that interview and we talked about it, I remember the lady's name he did the interview with. I don't really care, but he is so deadpan straight faced. She said, how do you feel? Something along the lines of, what about deporting people and, you know, pulling families apart because of their children or whatever. And he's like, deport the whole family. Then you don't have to worry about it. And I was like, I love you. That was the moment I knew. That was the moment I knew that we were destined to always have some sort of connection, because it's exactly what I said in my head before he said it out loud. And I was like, oh, so we think alike. I love it. But now he's trying to, you got Mike Johnson in Denver saying that he's not going to let Donald Trump come in and remove illegal immigrants. So I want you to hear, you know, what Tom Homan had to say about that, because I love it. Listen.
You heard this mayor out there in Colorado. I want to get your reaction to it. And I want you to be clear about who has jurisdiction, the federal government or state and local governments. And if you're a sanctuary state or city, are you breaking the law?
You're absolutely breaking the law. All you have to do is look at Arizona versus U.S. You'll see he's breaking the law. But look, me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail. Because there's a statute. It's Title 8 United States Code 1324 III. And what it says is, it's a felony if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authority. It's also a felony to impede a federal law enforcement officer. So if we don't want to help, that's fine. He can get the hell out of the way. But we're going to go do the job. President Trump has a mandate for American people. We got to secure this country. We got to save American lives. And I find it shocking that any mayor of a city would say, President Trump's been clear. We want to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor would say they don't want public safety threats removed from their neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on in Denver, but we're going to go and we're going to fix it. If you don't want to fix it, if you don't want to protect his communities, President Trump and ICE will.
Ooh, I love it. He got it. Wait, what's happening here? Oh, what's his name? Bill Maher. We don't like listening to him. See, he does not care. He does not care. He will tell you all day long exactly what's going to happen. And if your feelings are hurt by it, sucks to be you. If you know, I did love when he said, obviously, because I laughed my ass off, when he said that he and Mike Johnson agree on one thing. Mike says he's willing to go to jail, and Tom says, well, I'm willing to put your ass in jail. So at least there's that. It's going to be a great video to watch, that man getting handcuffed and thrown into jail, and then nobody there to stand in the way for the federal government to come in and do what they need to do to remove the illegal immigrants from sucking the life out of these cities that they are overtaking. So I'm excited about that. That to me was a great one. Newt Gingrich even posted, the mayor of Denver doesn't seem to understand that the United States Army settled the question of states, counties, and cities defying the federal government in a meeting at y'all, me and big words. Appomattox? Sure. In 1865, when General Lee surrendered, Denver attempting to block the federal government detention and the deportation of illegal aliens would be an act of insurrection and would be immediately crushed by the federal government. If Mike Johnson likes being a mayor, he should probably do what he needs to do in order to stay in power as a mayor, because I don't know how this works, but I would think if you are arrested by the president's people for breaking federal laws as a mayor, maybe you don't get to be a mayor anymore. I don't know how it works. I don't know what they're all allowed to get away with and still hold positions. So I 100% lost on that one, just so you guys know. But I think it's great that Tom is not willing to play any games. Oh, I wanted to bring this up to you. Pete Hegseth's nomination is causing a surge in military reenlistments. Imagine that. Imagine that. The people who did not want to fight for this country over the last 4 years because they did not like the way this country was running and the direction this country was going, and they didn't really want to have to worry about the guy playing, tuck his twig and berries next to him while applying lipstick and makeup, didn't want to have to worry about him being the one to keep him safe. Now that Donald Trump is coming in and Pete Hegseth is taking over things, they know that there will be a ban on transgenders in the Army, which I 1,000% agree with. 10,000% agree with. You have more men who are now willing to enlist because they know that they will be fighting for a country that gives a shit about them. This country did not give half a shit about its people over the last 4 years when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris mandated that if you did not get a jab, you did not get to work. You could not be in the military. They would kick you out if you weren't willing to put this thing into your body. Hello? Are you effing kidding me right now? And then the second they realized that thing in your body was a bad thing, then they wanted to bring the military people back. They're like, oh, I know we dishonorably discharged you for not doing this one thing, but now that we've realized that we were like totally wrong about this one thing, instead of apologizing, we're just gonna offer you your job back in the military. So come on over. We'll pretend like it never happened. It's fine. We'll pretend like it never happened. That's not how it works. I will hold a grudge all day long. I will make sure my children hold a grudge. That's how petty I am. So now that you have Donald Trump coming in and Pete Hegseth coming in, and they are willing and able to desissify the military that has happened over the last 4 years, you're going to have more red-blooded American men who are willing to step up and fight for this country. You're going to have more legal immigrants who are willing to step up and fight for this country. And that's what we want, and that's what we need. So I personally am thankful for Pete Hegseth. Yeah, he may dip his stick in a lot of different stick dipping things. I can't think of funny whatever for that. The man has been around. That's all I'm saying. He has been in a lot of bodies. I don't care. I don't care. What does that have to do with how good he is at his job? If these women are willing to let him stick things wherever he wants to stick them, that's on them too. He's not doing anything wrong. Just because he looks like he should be on The Bachelor. The man is a good looking man. Have you seen Pete Hegseth? Hello. He's a good looking man. The people that have a problem with the fact that he has a body count, just mad they can't reach that same body count, maybe possibly, but him in charge of what's happening with our military, 100% for it. 100% for it. It's going to be great. We're going to make America great again. And I'm down for the next 4 years. It's going to be amazing. Y'all, I love you immensely. My mom's going to be here in a few minutes, so I'm going to go meet her for brunch and hang out and whatnots. And then that's it. I'll probably see you guys again later today. Hopefully I'll have my microphone situation figured out by then. If not, maybe I'll just yell at the phone again instead of the microphones. But I love y'all. Thank you for being here for this Tuesday morning. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your morning until we see each other again. Goodbye. Oh, wait. No. I forgot something. Hold on. Wait. I missed some stuff. I know I missed some stuff. Celine said leftists don't deserve peace at this point. Oh, Celine, I agree with you. No peace for them. And then Annette says, love you. Keep it real. Always, girl. Always keep it real. And Lori Lewis, welcome to part of the family, ma'am. I will always keep it real no matter what, all the time. And if people don't like the way I keep it real, sucks for them. All that kind of stuff. Anyway, I love y'all. Renee says, happy Thanksgiving. Love y'all. Happy Thanksgiving, Renee. I'll see you guys later. Bye.